Okay, so solving by substitution. We looked at graphing already. Today we're going to focus on substitution, which is exactly what it sounds like. So substitution method. I'm just going to start with an example, and we'll just talk through what you need to do for substitution method. So here's our set of equations. Okay, this is a little, maybe a lot more complicated than what we were doing with graphing. Graphing, get y alone, graph them, find where they cross, done. Substitution is a lot more algebra. So for substitution method, we're going to solve one equation for x or y. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. You pick one equation, you solve it to get x or y alone. A lot of times I kind of tell y'all to do whatever is easiest to get alone. Okay, so when I say solve for x or y in either equation, you could solve the top equation or the bottom equation for x or y. It doesn't matter which equation or what variable. You get to decide, but I always try to tell y'all to pick whatever looks like it's going to be the easiest to get alone. Then substitute into other equation. So let's try to actually do that. When you're looking at these two equations and I'm telling you, you can solve for x or y in the top or bottom equation, you just want to try to get one of the variables alone, what would be the easiest variable to get alone in these two equations?
Y.
Y in which equation? The second one, because there's not a coefficient there, right? So all I have to do to get y alone is move the 2x. So that is absolutely, in my opinion, the best place to start. Get that variable alone. So first, we're going to take our second equation, because we selected the second one because we think y is easiest to get alone, and we're going to get that variable by itself. So to get y by itself, y'all have been doing this for the graphing. What would you do? Minus 2x. Perfect. Now, it doesn't matter if you put the 2x in front or behind. You're just trying to get y by itself. So we're not graphing it, so you don't really need y equals mx plus b. That part doesn't really matter. Yes?
If you put the 2x on the front, would it be negative 2x?
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Negative 2x plus 7 if you put that in front. Okay, so from here, we now want to substitute into the other equation. So when I say the other equation, I'm thinking like the unused equation. So which one have you not worked with yet? Top guy. Okay, so our 5x minus 3y equals 23. So I'm going to take the equation I haven't worked with yet. So that's my other equation. And I'm going to substitute, aka plug in, for y. So I'm going to look at this and say, all right, I'm trying to get my equation in terms of one variable. That's the whole point. The problem right now is you can't just solve for x or solve for y because you have x's and y's. That's what's giving us trouble. What I want to do is take 5x minus, instead of 3y,
3 negative 2x plus 7?
I'm going to substitute in what y is equal to. So I'm going to, that's why we call it substitution. I'm going to substitute or plug in, instead of having 3y, I'm going to have 3 times what I found y to be equal to, which is that 7 minus 2x equals 23. Okay, and I'm going to stop here. Questions?
No,
I remember that.
do we distribute?
Now you solve. Now you solve for x or y, depending on what variable you have. So now I'm here in distribute. That's perfect. I'm going to have 5x minus 3 times 7, 21, negative 3 times negative 2x, positive 6x equals 23.
Can it be 5x plus 6x?
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to put combine like terms. We're not going to change their signs here. We're just going to combine them because we're not moving across the equal to sign here. So we don't have to balance. We're not going to go, oh, positive 6 minus 6. We don't need to do that. They're on the same side of the equation. This is just a combine like terms step. So I'm going to take positive 5x and positive 6x, and I'm going to get 11x minus 21 equals 23. Perfect. So I'm working to get x alone here. So plus 21. Darius, slow it down for me. So when I add over here, I'm going to get 44. Your last step is to get x alone. So that coefficient, you're multiplying these together. We want to do the opposite of multiply. So we're going to divide by that coefficient on both sides. And then we're going to divide, 11 goes into 44 4 times. Okay, but here's why these problems kind of suck. Because do you have an ordered pair yet where they cross?
Nah.
You have an x coordinate of an ordered pair where they cross. We need like a 4 comma, like what is the y?
Put it in the calculator.
Well, we're plugging in, you're plugging in a 4, and you can use the calculator for it, but we need to go back. It doesn't matter to which of these equations. Whatever one looks more user-friendly to you, you'll get the same answer, because they should be equal.
So you have to solve for...
You have to go back and solve for y. So now that you have x, we're going to take either one. So plug in to either of the original equations to get other variable. Okay, so once you know x equals 4, you're going to go ahead and you're like, all right, but that's not, I don't have the ordered pair yet. I need the y. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to plug them in. To me, the bottom equation looks friendlier.
Yeah, it does. Really?
Just because, hey, I'm just saying. When I look at these two equations and I think about which one I want to plug a number into, I think this one looks better. So I'm going to plug into the bottom equation. You can plug into the top, you'll get the same thing. So I'm going to use 5, no, I'm saying I'm using the bottom. I start writing the top. And you would normally probably not necessarily need to write all of this stuff. You have, you did it, yeah, Algebra 1 and Math Models. The goal is to just get better at it. This is normally really hard for students in the lower grades, but by the time y'all get here, you've done it so many times that at least it feels a little bit more familiar. Okay, now we're trying to get y alone. So we're going to subtract 8 on both sides. 7 minus 8, negative 1. Okay. Questions? Questions yet? No? Okay. So we're going to practice these problems. I really need you to try to focus. We are tomorrow. Oh, I need you to focus on making sure you put your answers together as an ordered pair. If you don't think about it being an ordered pair, a lot of times you forget to go get the other coordinate. So try to remember to write those answers as ordered pairs, and you should be good.